Blessings and greetings to everyone. Today you see me in one of the nuns' rooms where somebody moved out, but I think this is the room where today I'm disturbing not everyone. We have works in our monastery, inside the monastery and outside the monastery. And in other areas, I don't have internet, so we have to get along with this. Hmm. I do think that it would be good to close our eyes a little bit. And to relax and to get to where we are. Our topic is still letting go. So with this as topic of today, we try just to do that. To let go of all tension that we might have in our body. We can let go of every feeling of stress and just know that we are sitting, aware of the sitting. We arrive to where we are. And we can release all tension, all stress, all unwholesomeness. For example, just into the ground, and there it dissolves into nothing. And it really can. All our problems all our tensions can, when released, when we relaxed, and when let go of, become just nothing. Because we have let go of, because it is just not oppressing us anymore. Many things are just cause stress, cause anxiety, cause unwholesomeness, cause tensions, because we hold on to. If we would not hold on to unwholesome thoughts, they would be gone. There would not be unwholesome thoughts. There's tension in our body, but this tension is only there because we're holding tight. We're holding on to it. If we were able to relax and to let go of tension, it would just not be there. So with this knowledge, we can sit there. We can try to relax our belly and breathe in and out naturally. We can sit there, feeling the ground, and just be there. Softly breathing in and then releasing, letting go of every single breath. Every out breath is a releasing. Every out breath is letting go. And moments pass by and we let go of them. Okay, and you just keep being relaxed and being there where you are and breathing. And maybe put a little bit of attention towards that which is being said presently. Today, the topic is again pahana, letting go. And in the description of today's talk is written, we are going to explore how such things as pahana, so letting go, yoniso manasikara, which would be wisely reflecting, and marananusati, the awareness of the death, or asuba practice, the contemplation on the unattractive or the non-beautiful, can lead to happiness and wisdom. That is what we are trying to do today. We have talked about pahana already yesterday, so we know it is letting go. Letting go in a way that we don't attach ourselves to things, that we don't hold on to. Neither hold on to grudges, nor hold on to things, nor to our wantings, to our sense desires, holding on to nothing. And at the end of last week's talk, the question arose, I don't know, it wasn't really in that context, about the asuba practice, how asuba practice can actually lead to happiness. This is as far as I remember it. And we did speak about marananusati, so not the unattractiveness of the body, but the contemplation of death. And these both of unattractiveness and death are not really kind of obviously leading to happiness for somebody who does not know, who does not understand. So we're trying to gain a little bit more understanding and to finally see that how and that this practice of asuba and of marananusati can really lead to happiness and wisdom. One thing connected is, of course, wisely reflecting. So if you take asuba practice, so the practice on the unattractiveness, and you are not able or instructed to reflect wisely, you might really become upset, so much so that it is not advisable for you not to do this practice, or to do this practice, I have to say. So yoniso manasikara, the reflecting of unattractiveness, in this regard, must be preceded by wisely reflecting, what do I need to do? What am I aiming for? We aim for freedom from suffering. That much is sure. So when freedom of suffering is the aim, and I read, for example, a sutta where is written, so ye contemplate the unattractiveness of a body, and you tell that to a woman, that can go so completely wrong, because women often, when they look into a mirror, think, oh, my face is too wrinkly, my how to say that, my breast, my bum, they are too big, or I think nowadays the trend is reverse, is not big enough. So it's never good enough. So there would be the danger that when we try to do the practice of unattractiveness, there would be the possibility that when we do not reflect wisely, we could go completely wrong and deepen our insecurities, deepen the disgust maybe that there possibly is already for the body, so much that people even want to suicide or things, or really create an aversion within themselves. So that there is no, in the end, way to get out, and you get totally depressed because you wanted to do asuba practice and just started without wisely reflecting, without the right aim, without consideration of the aim is to become free from suffering in the end. So instead of becoming free from suffering, you deepen your suffering. In what way, in regards to asuba practice, should now our asuba practice go? Or contemplation on death go? It should go in the direction of letting go of all our fears, of the fear of being ugly, of the fear of being disgusting. We should reflect beforehand that these things are practices to make us understand how much we are attached to things, how strong our grip to things is. So when we know, I am feeling miserable in my body, and I'm feeling shy because my body is not the way I want it, then you should be very, very careful with asuba practice. But now I'm getting deep into it already, and I should really first explain what asuba practice is. So, asuba practice is a practice where we contemplate the unattractiveness of the body. Often, it is suggested for people with strong sense desire or strong sexual desire to practice this, to understand that there's nothing attractive out in this body and on this body, of this body. So there is no reason to think it's something that we could cling to, or that we should cling to, or that we could offer this to other people. And so there is this unattractiveness standing as a practice, very famous in the room, and we wanted to practice for the letting go of our sense desires, for the letting go of our sense desires. We shall see our body as non-attractive. Oh. So the point is, first, you should not, when you are stuck with sense desires, or with the feeling that you are so much attracted to the opposite sex that you need to do the practice, how to say that? You shouldn't think or start to make the opposite sex, unattractive. But you should just reflect on your own body parts. You find in the suttas various texts where it is listed. So you could go through your body, through like a body scan, and know, well, this is body hair, this is skin, these are the teeth, these are the nails, this is spittle, there's pus, there's blood. So you can go through all these things. There are intestines, there's a stomach, a heart. And you can just see these things as they are. Like if you see, for example, a university school video for medics, and there is a heart surgery, and you see that is quite unattractive. So that doesn't mean you need to see yourself as unattractive. You don't need to see the other person as unattractive. You don't need to see food as unattractive. You just have to see things as they are. And in fact, if you see when you see them, the things as what they are really neither attractive nor unattractive. Rather, they have the tendency to be a little bit more on the unattractive side, maybe. So when you really, really are attached to your body, or when you are really, really attached to your food, you can, or of course, go a little bit deeper and really watch, chew your food while eating. Observe how you chew and how it mixes up and how it is mixed up with spittle. And how it then, when you swallow, it goes down to your stomach. And there are acids and all these things. And it is worked into a mass, into a brown, disgusting mass. That will disintegrate within your body. And in the end, even come out the other end and be really smelly and ugly. So if you want to do that, you can do. But asuba practice is not about imagination. You don't need to imagine how disgusting that is, how smelly that is, how awful or so. It is enough when you stick with reality to understand that there is really not much to. So we don't actually want to go into the other extreme and become averse to everything. But so here then we devote ourselves to this practice where we observe the unattractiveness of our body, of our food, of things. And that was the question then. How could that in the end lead to happiness and wisdom? This is where again yoniso manasikara comes into play. when in regards to wisdom, we need to understand, wisely reflecting, we see, for example, our fingernail. It's just a fingernail. Or the tooth. It's a tooth. Maybe we have tooth fallen out. Maybe we have teeth not so good anymore, getting brown. Or you see your intestines. Oh, well, to see some outer things of your body is easier. So the skin of hands, for example, is getting wrinkly and is getting old. We understand that, we can see that. And we can accept, wisely reflecting. We learn to accept that this is just as it is. We're watching these things, we cannot change them. We can just be totally relaxed with how it is. There's not much more to do. Of course, you can put Botox into your lips or even in hands or so. Or you can put creams in your face, assuming they would make you nicer and more beautiful. To understand that all this is just so in vain, and you could just as well just let it be as it is. And just let it follow the nature that it has, the nature of, after being born, aging, becoming sick, and then dying. So just by watching your hand or some wrinkles, something that you think might be unattractive, and by wisely reflecting and by contemplating that it is just as what it is, you can become still. Your mind settles down because you don't have to go through all this aversion. You can just see those wrinkles and relax. You can just smell your odor when you were stressed and so on. Think, well, this is how this body is. It stinks. When the time comes if I don't have time to shower, or if it's too hot, or if I work too much. So this kind of asuba practice does not so much lead you in a direction to really, really see the ugliness. And asuba doesn't mean ugliness necessarily. It can be unattractiveness or the non-beautiful. But where is non-beautiful? Really, where you find it? Within your own mind, within your own thinking. You think of these things, of non-beautiful. They are neither beautiful nor non-beautiful. It's made up by our likings and dislikings. I don't remember, and there is a sutta where a monk, it's probably in the Vinaya, but I'm not too sure of. But anyway, I will tell the story. So there is a monk going out of town, and a woman is going the same way. It is said that this woman was very beautiful and adorned with all her things, with all her belongings, with all her jewelry and so on. And she wanted to go out of town. So she saw the monk going out of town and asked if she can go with him. And he agreed. So later, somebody ran after her, a man, and asked, "Have you seen the woman adorned with the most beautiful and adorned with all her things and so on?" And there was a monk. He said, "I have just seen bones." That man, that monk, was an arahant. He has not seen adornment. He has not seen a beautiful dress or a jewelry, not even a woman. He just possibly, when she smiled at him and asked him and talked to him, "Now when I'm talking, you see my teeth." So the monk might have just seen the teeth. Or he might have looked into her and just have seen bones. Totally not grasping the beautiful or the unattractive, not being afraid of that being a beautiful woman, or not wanting all the jewelry. So seeing the things as they are really, really leads us to wisdom, to the wisdom that we can just have the things as they are. So this is one way. I'm coming to your questions in the chat in a minute. This is one way how asuba practice or contemplation of the death can lead to wisdom. You just learn to see the things as they are when you watch them, when you watch them, when you look at them. Undiscriminative. Another way. So that would be, sorry, that's not the other way. That is not in addition to what I said first. That would be the seeing clearly. That would be wisdom by insights, by seeing clearly how things really are. And really, the wisely reflecting on it and understanding things as they really are, as impermanent, thus bound to be one day maybe suffering, and that being uncontrollable, understanding that can happen by asuba practice. So now the other way. You can use asuba practices, of course, as a samatha practice, a practice for concentration and calmness. And also, you could watch your wrinkly hand. This is just what I'm looking at when I'm sitting here. So, and I know my hands are very wrinkly. They're the most wrinkly part of this body. So I can see that often. Now I'm watching them and yeah. So I see wrinkles, 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 wrinkles. Seeing, seeing, seeing. Seeing, seeing. I could use that as a mantra, the word wrinkles that I see, or the word seeing, because I do see. And by that, one can get into real deep meditative states if one is not disturbed by what is seen. So if you get nervous about seeing wrinkles, that doesn't help. So also, there, the insight part is not to be left out of focus. It's good to have that insight that you anyways can't change it. And when you practice this, like wrinkles, 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 or hair, hair, head hair, or teeth, teeth, stomach, stomach, pus, pus. Like when you use that as a mantra, you will at some point, possibly, if you do it long enough and deep enough and relaxed enough, you can get into absorptions by that. And that would lead you to happiness. And those two together, the happiness of the concentration and the wisdom of the insight, could give you so much momentum, I think it is called, that you really can let go of things. And we can do this, letting go of things, letting go of things again and again and again. Letting go up until our death. And that is the last letting go. And I think, I really do believe that when we practice marananusati and asuba practice, that it can help us to die easier, have a better and easier last letting go. And maybe our last letting go is really, when we do that well enough, into nibbana and parinibbana, not only into the moment with the prospect of being born again, but I said 1 second, and then I come to the question. So here are things. Jita, Ayya, what if one, here, Ayya, what if one is attracted to the person's virtues, pure heart and mind, consciousness, energy? How does one skillfully let go of using anicca, dukkha, anatta? How would one disentangle? That's a good question. Because when we have learned that the external beauty is not what we're going after, be that we're chasing after the internal beauty that we see in people. So a virtuous person can be tremendously attractive. Somebody who has practiced well and has developed so much metta and loving kindness can be tremendously attractive, even if the face and the outer form is not attractive. And it's a little bit more difficult to understand that we ourselves belittle ourselves by being attracted to those qualities instead of taking our time to develop these qualities within ourselves. So I don't think, yeah, I'm not sure if you mean that one would be really sexually attracted to them, to such a virtuous person. And if that is the case, and one is attracted to a virtuous person, then the best to do is not asuba practice. The best to do is becoming beautiful in the same way by practicing the sila and making sure that the purest heart is not outside somewhere, but within that person that is seeking and yearning. Yearning, is that the right word? I don't know. Longing for that pure heart. So we need to develop that within ourselves. Then other hearts can be as attractive as they want. We don't fall for them. Oh, yes, Gita. I know you told me that you have to work, and it's okay. You don't need to be there all the time. I'm happy when you come, but you don't need to apologize for not being able to attend every class. Leon says something very beautiful. Whenever I'm listening, Jataka Gata, Sudas, Buddha Vani, I'm getting so emotional and tears come out of how I deal with this situation. So, yes, you really see the beauty, I would say, Leon, in the Dhamma. And you don't have to get over that. This is maybe, possibly, I don't know you, I don't see you, but this could be piti. Piti is a joy when you encounter the Buddha, the Dhamma, or the Sangha, and you are very, very touched by it. So if you hear a sutta or a Dhamma talk, it can be you have goosebumps. Piti is not always that you sit there so happy and smiling. It can really be that tears are falling down and running down your cheeks and so on. And you deal with a situation by just letting it be as it is, by just taking the Dhamma in, and by letting it be. Because when you let it be, your emotions can settle down. We do need this piti from time to time. We need to be so inspired and have that joy when we hear about the Buddha, the Dhamma, or the Sangha, so that we keep practicing. So you don't actually want to lose this feeling entirely. Maybe you are embarrassed to be crying in front of others, but let the tears fall. At some point, there will stillness. There will be stillness. No more tears will come. There's just a still joy, a feeling of the Dhamma. Good. Gita, I thought so. Not sexually attracted. That refers to what we have said before. Yes. So this is totally going into the direction that Leon has said. There can be really, really deep emotions be involved with the Dhamma, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. That we are deeply, deeply in love with it. But as we need to distinguish a love that craves for I want that Dhamma only for myself and I don't want to share that, I just want to hear it and nothing else, or uh, the wish to hear the Dhamma, to be with it, to be as close as possible with it, and to feel how it makes us rise. So really, the only thing better than being attracted by people with high sila, with pure hearts, with hearts full of metta, is to develop that ourselves. Christopher says, since you mentioned yoniso manasikara, it basically means working the mind down into the roots. This is best done by a meditative mind. That is indeed so. Yoniso is related to really digging down or going into the womb. Yoni is the womb. So manasikara is mana refers to the thinking process. And kara is coming from making. So we dive deep into the depth of our thinking processes and understand them, and not by thinking about them, but by meditating on them. I just now came home from visiting a dear friend whose treatment many years. He identifies with his body. Please, if you see that fit for him, please go ahead and share, of course. And if I can next week or whenever you ask for it, if there needs to be said more about this, please let me know. Oh, that is good, Piti Sukha. Or, yeah, wonderful. Buddha Ruchi, an approach to what? I can suggest many approaches, but to what? Let's see if I can. Mm-hmm. An approach for your friend Buddha Ruchi, who is having his face disfigured and deteriorating because of cancer treatment, right? So now I understand. I think maybe that depends on the person, you know. It could well be that asuba practice is perfect for this person, because he can really understand that it is not important, that he is not his body, he is not his face. But I think there need to be approaches maybe from various sides coming. So if you can also show him that there is love coming from outside, and that there would be also still things within him tremendously attractive, even though his face might not be. The beauty of the Dhamma. So if he has the Dhamma, if he relaxes, he can still be the most beautiful person in the world. Maybe not for everybody, but for some people who can see the inner beauty, that certainly would work. And so in brief, I think we're already over an hour. I would try to find more on this. How what would be possible to work on or to practice to give you or your friend an approach to find a better quality of life. So for today, I will close. Oh, there's so bye bye. Be well, everybody. Take care.